Hey, happy hour on a Monday from our favorite place in Sioux Falls, the Orion Pub in downtown Sioux Falls. Favorite, not the only place we like, just favorite. John Gaskins opening the show today with Patrick Lalley because one of the most influential people and impactful people in the history of Sioux Falls, the state of South Dakota, and certainly on our sports scene, especially the last 20, 25 years. Well, he passed away over the weekend, Denny Sanford. So kind of someone we probably should break down, and we will. How are you?
I'm good.
Good to see you. We just did this, but I'll do that again.
Right.
Your Miller Lite can, my Coors Light tap. And later on in the show, last week, we had Mountain West Media Days out in Vegas. And Mike McFeely, veteran columnist and South Dakota's favorite sports writer, joined me today to describe that experience, how NDSU fits in already, just kind of like as a squad, getting to be out in front of all the media and some of the other teams. Or are they the bells of the ball or not? And what about SDSU and USD someday in that league? What's the realistic possibility? We'll have Mike on to address that. One more thing before we get started. Sioux Falls Canaries ripped through the Lincoln Salt Dogs over the weekend. They are now with that 3-game sweep, 2 games above 500, and already cooking with gas in the second half of the season. Least amount of home games first half, most in the league in the second half. 6 more on this homestand starting Tuesday night.
That's what you want, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's that?
More home games in the back half than the front half.
Of course, you bet it. And every team in their next 4 series is either right around their record or worse, or one of the worst teams in the league.
Where did they finish in the first half?
They finished, there's just this big lump of 7 or 8 teams out of 12 in the league that are right around 500.
Do they still do the 2 halves thing, or they just
no,
play? Oh,
no,
okay.
Thank God. That was stupid. Yeah, it's been a long time since there was a first half champ,
Gotcha.
second half champ.
That's right.
4 teams from each of the 2 divisions make the playoffs. That's 8 out of 12 teams. So you got a good shot before the season starts of making the playoffs. But the Canaries look better right now. Jabari Henry, the all-time home run king of the league, and the team is back. And they're wailing away at the Birdcage. We're having fun. Come join us starting Tuesday night through Sunday. Okay. Denny Sanford passes away. He was 90 years old. You did a very nice write-up at Sioux Falls Live to really detail his life story, the impact he had, and so many quotes from so many influential politicians. And, of course, people within the spheres that he was in since 1986 in South Dakota. First Premier Bank, Sanford Health. But, okay, he dies, you react, you're going to have to write this. And
Saturday morning, by the way.
Saturday morning. Oh, aren't you lucky?
And, in the old days, and my good friend Jonathan Ellis at the Dakota Scout still does this, you pre-write obits.
Yeah.
Yes.
You mean you'd written this before?
I didn't.
Okay.
I knew I should have, but I didn't. So it was starting from scratch, and it's fine. It's how it goes.
Yeah. Man was worth, at nearest count, $2.4 billion, but he had given $2 billion to the Sanford Health system across the upper Midwest.
Nearly $2 billion. And that's why my story was also on the front page of the Fargo Forum Sunday. Yeah.
All right.
And my photo. I was very proud of myself.
Okay, well.
And I don't know if that's the printed one or not. I have no idea how that works.
But that's a testament, of course, Denny Sanford and the Sanford Health sphere certainly spread to Fargo, very influential in that community as well.
I wrote a separate story for them.
Okay. All right.
I wrote a North Dakota, Minnesota version.
Yeah.
For my friends in forums.
So we'll get to the sports part since this is a sports show, but there's so many layers to T. Denny.
Yeah.
And you've got. I just thought I'd dive into this.
No, I think that's important. I really do.
Well, here's my thought and why I just chose this as the lead topic for the show today. It appears, and I've got a statement from John Schimmel, the USD athletic director. I'm awaiting Justin Sell from SDSU. Yep. I just don't think there's any way. I think you can speak to this. Your alma mater, USD, and South Dakota State would not be in Division I, would not be in the FBS. They would not be there without T. Denny Sanford. Did he personally donate millions upon millions of dollars of his own money to these programs?
No.
Well, no.
Some.
But Sanford Health, the health system.
And one Mr. Dana J. Dykehouse.
Well, certainly at SDSU, for sure, for Dana J. Dykehouse.
You just cannot underestimate that.
And Dana J. Dykehouse, of course, worked for T. Denny Sanford,
Still,
and was basically given the keys to the castle at First Premier Bank.
Dana Dykehouse and Miles Beacom. If you want to see the sort of secondary effects of T. Denny's, the fortune from the credit card business, which you can quibble with that, but just look at everything that's named after those two guys, right? Beacom, the business school at USD, they've got a Beacom Center up at DSU where he graduated from. Not to mention, like the Scott Jones family, whatever they put down there for named after Jonesy, was financed by Sam. I mean, you keep. It's just one after another.
So here we go. I mean, I just looked up a few from what I could gather.
Yeah.
And it's so obvious. I mean, people who live in Sioux Falls understand how influential the Sanford name is because it's freaking everywhere in town.
And people
and
get
all
mad
over
about it.
Well, that's something I wanted to dive into if we have time.
Yep.
But the Denny Sanford Premier Center, $20 million of Denny Sanford's money in partnership with First Premier Bank went to the $117 million cost of building that facility, which obviously has been able to house the Summit League tournament and so many other events, NCAA events for sure. And you look down in Vermilion, the Sanford Coyote Sports Center, their brand new basketball, volleyball, indoor, not all-purpose, but many-purpose facility. $20 million of that came from Sanford Health. That, like the Denny Sanford Premier Center, is why the Sanford name is on that. That's $20 million out of $73 million that cost to build in Vermilion. Also there, Bill Gasson, of course, took over for Kelby Krabanoff as the CEO for Sanford Health. That became the health system, Sanford Health, of course, in 2007 after T. Denny Sanford gave $400 million to the then Sioux Valley Health Center.
And Gasson, also a USD football player.
Yeah. Yes. So the new Gasson Family Fieldhouse, which is the new track and field facility, the lead gift was $20 million directly from T. Denny Sanford. Bill Gasson's family gave $1 million of their own money. Miles Beacom, you've mentioned him, $500,000. The Sanford Sports Complex. I couldn't look up exactly how much money comes from Sanford Health to build that, but in 2021, when they added the 18 outdoor turf fields, baseball, softball, and soccer, $50 million from Denny Sanford.
And I think here's an important point, okay? Part of what has happened when you look at the prep sports scene, and the reason that the metro schools are good at everything is because of some of these programs, not just Sanford, but a lot of them are through Sanford. For instance, your good friend, the football program he has,
Curtis Riggs?
Curtis Riggs.
Thank you. Sorry,
Curtis. Curtis Riggs, his football program,
Yep.
their baseball academy is very big. It's produced a lot of just the strength and conditioning and agility training. All of that stuff together has produced just an incredible wave of college athletes, D1 athletes. It's pretty amazing. We do a lot of stories about it.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole peer football team would drive the 3 hours to train once a week at Sanford.
Yeah. So it's not just the Division I funding for the Jacks and the Coyotes. And again, everybody knows this. The place is called the Sanford Sports Complex.
Right.
We know it's the Sanford Pentagon that has hosted so many Power Four conference teams, particularly those that have plenty of fans here. Huskers, Hawkeyes, Gophers.
I mean,
yeah.
They have. I don't think we realize how many people flow through the Sanford Sports Complex, because you've got baseball and softball tournaments constantly. You've got soccer tournaments constantly, but also basketball, youth basketball.
Yeah.
They got 8 courts inside there. It's just the field house. It's incredible.
It's part of enhancing the quality of sports around here that start at the youth level, which feeds into the high school programs and then certainly feeds into our Division I and Division II college programs around here. There's a massive advantage in Sioux Falls over the rest of the state, every other community in the state, as far as the training the athletes get here to make the teams here, especially in football where it's a numbers game, dominant. A sport like basketball can cancel that out. Huron won the state boys title.
Sure.
But it's
but those kids
so much has been elevated in the last 20 years.
The main kid on that team was an AAU player who plays with the. I mean, it's just there's tentacles.
Yeah.
I mean, Rapid City is in this position now where they're trying to build their own sports complex.
Yeah.
Right, and it's a lot of money.
The Sanford International Golf event, known as one of the best on the Champions Tour because it has some of the biggest crowds. The title sponsorship for Sanford, not publicly disclosed as far as how much money they pay for that. And the same is the case for the Summit League basketball tournaments in Sioux Falls, which, I mean, for one, it was, we talk about the tentacles. Denny Sanford, without his money, without the millions and millions he made from First Premier Bank, which he started in 1986, none of this is possible. Sanford Health comes into play because he gave $400 million up front in 2007 to help, for one, cure type 1 diabetes. His mother died of breast cancer when he was 4. So, I mean, but the tentacles, the influence of Kelby Krabanoff, who was running Sioux Valley Health Systems at that time up through 2020, and then, of course, Dana J. Dykhouse, and that's partly why Sanford is such a big name and First Premier is for SDSU because, of course, Dana J. played football for the Jackrabbits. But it just goes on and on with some of these other things. The Summit League offices moved to Sioux Falls because Sanford Health, they're on the grounds of the Sanford Sports Complex, and Sanford Health, obviously, the title sponsor to bring the Summit League tournament, maybe the biggest sporting event the city has annually, here to Sioux Falls. Wouldn't happen without Sanford Health. Doesn't happen without Sanford.
There is a business reason behind it, and with the sports complex, and that's sports medicine.
Yeah.
And it's a big business, and sometimes people miss that part of it. Like, well, why are they spending all this money? Well, because a kid that's playing on a Sanford team is more likely to end up in a Sanford facility if they blow their ACL.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And the college athletes, and just everything, one on top of the other.
Yeah. It's been joked about, especially during the time when Augustana was making a push to go to Division I and to join the Summit League.
Yeah.
Sanford Health, and again, Kelby Krabanoff, a major supporter.
Kelby wanted them to do it.
Of course, he was the driving force, and he was the CEO of Sanford Health. And at that time, it was like, well, this is going to happen because anything Kelby wants to do and Sanford Health wants to do, they do.
Yeah.
The Summit League tournaments, the Sanford International, and so if Augustana wants to do it, they'll do it. And there was a line that I know from people who worked in Augustana, in their sports department at the time, who just said, we just keep getting told the money's going to be there.
Yeah.
The money's going to be there.
Don't worry about the money.
Well, I mean, look, Augustana didn't get into the Summit League, and that's a whole other topic. But that's kind of the influence that Sanford had. There, and look,
money. It's money.
Yeah.
I mean,
of course,
and it's some measure, because immediately when my story publishes, when any story publishes, there's immediate people just there's a vitriolic reaction to T. Denny.
Okay, and let's get to that, because the joke back then was when things were really rolling, let's just name the city Sanford. Let's just rename it Sanford, because it's just all over the place anyway.
I wrote a column about that.
We haven't even gotten to the millions of dollars he has given to the State Theater downtown to help revitalize. I mean, downtown's great without it, but it's awesome. A physical example. The Great Plains Zoo, the Jacobson Plaza, which is a wonderful connector from downtown to Falls Park, where kids get to go to play, adults get to go to eat and drink. The USD School of Medicine, kind of important.
Moved it to Sioux Falls.
All of that. But people still, now, there's the child pornography investigation case, but I think there was plenty of controversy with Denny before the child pornography investigation.
And I addressed it in my story. You have to address it because it's real. I mean, there were 2 search warrants, but no charges. So, I mean, we don't know anything.
Yeah. There's speculation as to why there were no charges, but we can't sit here and recklessly speculate.
I don't know why there were no charges. I mean,
his lawyers claimed that.
His lawyer was Marty Jackley, by the way. Who, he's a pretty good lawyer.
Which is interesting, the Attorney General. But their lawyers claimed he was hacked. We don't know if that's true or not. But why? Why is it always drawn ire? The man who, as Governor Larry Roden would say, is the greatest philanthropist in South Dakota history, and I don't think that's an outlandish remark whatsoever.
No.
A key reason South Dakota has such a strong culture of philanthropy. Tony Veneisen, the lieutenant governor.
That's true too.
So the fingerprints are everywhere, and they're mostly good, helping people get well through medicine and certainly enhancing the quality of life, which has vastly included sports. Why so much ire toward T. Denny Sanford?
It's money and how he earned it, right? I mean, it's subprime credit cards. There's no doubt that is a controversial topic, and it is certainly a topic that's open for debate. But it's also a decision that South Dakota made a long time ago. And if you don't like the laws, change the laws. But what they do isn't illegal, and is done by Citibank, done by Wells Fargo. Why do you think there's so many banks here? Everybody is taking advantage of that. So this one just happened to be a South Dakota company, so all the money ended up here. But you change the law. I mean, there's a whole world of trusts out there where people are making money or saving money because of South Dakota's laws. And if you don't like that, change the laws. But Denny became the poster child for it because he's here. And, is he a wonderful human being? I've met him a couple of times. I have no idea. But I think it's safe to say that he wasn't a saint by any stretch of the imagination. And I don't care if he's the worst human being in the world. How he made his money was perfectly legal because we decided it was legal.
Right. Well, Bernie Sanders, a lightning rod in his own right, probably not a very popular guy overall in South Dakota, but he calls it extortion and loan sharking, the subprime lending that is the backbone of Premier Bank Card. Nothing different from gangsters who choose to outrageously high prices for loans and who break kneecaps of those who can't pay them back.
Yeah.
That's what he compared the business that Denny Sanford made his billions off of.
Yeah.
But those billions went to improving, no doubt, the quality of life and the quality of sports in our state.
And I'm not saying it's the right decision, but it's a hard thing to turn down. I mean, it's very controversial outside of T. Denny and the whole entire country. I mean, the Sackler family, who invented and marketed OxyContin, they did things purposely that killed people. Yeah. There's no doubt about that. I got books you can read on that.
Wow.
Their name got taken off of everything.
Yeah.
Is that analogous here? I don't think so. So if you're upset about how T. Denny made his money, and that's legit, change the law.
Okay. Anything else about his legacy that we should include before we finish?
No, he's always going to be that lightning rod. I mean, it's just, that's the way it goes. That's you get the legacy you deserve.
Okay. I'll just say it again, as somebody who's been covering sports around here and enjoying them too. I enjoy the Sanford International. I enjoy the Summit League men's and women's basketball tournaments. I enjoy SDSU and USD being at the level of sports that they are. They're not hoisting those trophies. I'll say it. They're not in Division I. We're not going through this kind of sports renaissance and boom of the last 20 years.
Not possible.
Without T. Denny Sanford. Well, maybe. No, not at all.
I don't think so.
Okay. I think we've done it.
Good job.
Anything else?
No.
I just asked you. Fun.
That was a good summary, John.
There's more in Patrick Lalley's story at SiouxFallsLive.com.
Not much more.
His
read most of it.
his childhood and
interesting.
a moment in his life, a sentence to jail, kind of changed everything that led the course that led to the things we enjoy as members of the community here in Sioux Falls and the state. For video producer Cordell Wright, thank you, Patrick. Sioux Falls Live editor. Read his stuff about all the mayoral and gubernatorial stuff. I'm John. On to Mike McFeely, South Dakota's favorite sports personality.